everybody, this is the thejonnymar, and I am continuing with Batman the video game. And so we need to kind of scoot forward here very slowly because we're going to face the worst regular enemy in the game, which is the Jumper. Now I know it has an official name, but I'm not going to dignify it by calling it by that name. But starting in this level, you're going to start seeing this enemy, and I've found the best way to attack it and actually not have to deal with it is to just kind of inch forward until it starts to come onto the screen, and then start throwing dirks at it until you kill it. And it takes about 3 or 4 dirks in order to kill it off. Now if you let it start attacking you, it will start pouncing on you over and over again and take out your health very quickly. So I do not want to allow that to happen. And it's going to be in some pretty inopportune places, and so you have to be very careful about not letting it get an opportunity to take you on. So right here, you don't want to jump too far, because we will have to face another one. So now we want to throw the dirk when it's at the bottom of its jump, and we should be able to take it out pretty easily. Looks like it takes 3 dirks to kill it. And then there's another one right up here, and so you can either take the hit on the little turbine, or you can back up a little bit and do a light jump to land down in the sewer water. And then I like to just punch out this mine before taking out the Jumper enemy. So he will show up here, and he will show up in some later stages as well. And I think that might be the last one for this stage, although there might be one more. Let's see here. No, that's the last one for this stage. So right here, I'm just going to jump over these guys, take the hit, and progress to stage 3-2. So now we need to watch out because the floor actually has a lot of these little turbines, and so you want to make sure that you are avoiding those because they will do damage. We're going to drop straight down here and then drop to the left, jump to avoid the little mine that seeks us out. We could head to the left here, but there's not really any reason to. And then there is another Jumper just below us. So we're going to jump down, switch to our batarangs, and quickly take them out by going to the left and the right. And then there's another one because they decided to be complete jerks in designing this stage and have 2 of them right in a row. But we're going to take them out off the screen, and then we're going to continue onward. And we're just going to punch out these little roaming mine guys and continue up to a wall jumping section pretty soon. Now this is a very, very annoyingly placed enemy because as you can see it can easily knock you off if you don't get in some quick punches or hits. Now you can do a little bit of a shortcut here by jumping off of this block, or you can go all the way to the left and actually refill on some items here from a drop claw enemy. So if you're looking for more ammo or health, that's an opportunity for you to get that. And now up here to the right is a wall jumping segment. Now it's not the worst wall jumping segment, there are actually 2 worse ones in the game, but it's starting to really start to test your ability to wall jump effectively. And now stage 3-3 with some of the worst enemies in the game. Now we don't see Jumper enemies, but we do see some of these mobile tanks that are going to be coming up. So we're going to drop down to get these mines to activate, and then we're going to take out the mobile mine and then jump over the fireballs of this mobile tank. Now that is not the only one in this level. There are actually multiple of them that we're going to have to take on, including right up here, one of the worst spots for it. Now I think you can technically despawn this one, but I'm never able to succeed at doing that. So if you progress forward a little bit to activate it on the screen and then head backwards and go all the way back, it's supposed to despawn it. But whenever I try it, ow, I just keep taking damage. It just does not work for me. So what we need to do is, and what I end up doing, is just progress as far as you can on this little platform, jump, and then throw some batarangs at it while also jumping. And my controller started to freak out a little bit here. And so when I was holding down, it was starting to actually make me move a little bit to the left and the right. I guess I was getting some Switch Joy-Con drift, although I wasn't using a Switch controller. I'm actually using an NES Dogbone controller while playing this game on my retro USB AVS, the original cartridge. But we are almost done with stage 3-3, and then we are going to progress on to the boss. You can try to refill on this drop claw, but you'll notice it just does not work very well. So we're just going to skip it and continue to what I believe is the second worst wall jump area in the game. So now we have to wall jump, deal with enemies, and also deal with these little spinning grate things. So we're going to wall jump and start punching this guy, and then there are two ways. You can do a short wall jump there in between the grates, or you can do a heavy jump above you to start with and then jump off the opposing wall. So I tend to do the heavy jump to start with, and then I time my jumps based on that to essentially continue to go up the wall without taking any damage. Except I took some there, and so now we're down to just 1 health. Now there is a way to beat the boss without taking damage. I'm just not very good at it. And I'm again trying to despawn this tank, but whenever I try, it just does not work very well, so we're just going to run forward. And you'll notice its shot actually does not go through the wall. So basically, if you jump and use your batarangs again, you can take it out pretty quickly. But that is it. Now we're going to head into the third boss, which is the Electrocutioner. And so what you can do is if you jump up here to these top platforms, you can actually wall jump off the opposite wall and then hit him while he jumps, and you'll actually not take damage. But you have to also time a wall jump to get around him when he leaps forward. Now the easier strategy is just to charge him and keep throwing batarangs at him. Now you're going to take about 4 hits, so as long as you have 4 health, this strategy works. But basically tank the hits, throw batarangs, and you can get through him pretty quickly. And what is your latest work of art? I mean, it's the Alicia character, right? And now we have, in my opinion, the best music in the game. This track is completely awesome. And this level is pretty annoying. So lots of different enemies to take out, including some jumpers, as you can see. So you want to get just close enough that you're activating the jumper, but not close enough that you're activating the drop claw. So it did activate and then it stopped activating, so whatever. We'll just move on here. And then we have another drop claw enemy here and some mobile tanks. Not tanks, mines. So lots of enemies here, we're going to take lots of damage, but fortunately we're getting some good power-ups, including some health drops. Certainly worthwhile. But we're getting near the end. We just have stages 4 and 5 to do yet, and stage 5 is actually only 1 level. It's a long level, and it does have 2 bosses, hey there Joker, on the end of it. But it is just 1 stage. Alright, so we're going to inch forward here and take on these enemies. Try to take them out pretty easily, and then a jumper! And I almost went too far forward there so that it came at me, and that would have sucked. Now this game is part of what I consider to be one of the best trilogies on the original NES. And a lot of people will point to, for example, Super Mario Bros. Or the Ninja Gaiden trilogies, but I consider the Batman trilogy to also be right up there in terms of quality. You have this game and The Return of the Joker by Sunsoft, and then you also have, I think, the underappreciated Batman Returns by Konami, which is a pretty good beat-em-up. Now, I actually didn't know about Batman Returns until fairly recently, a few years ago. I didn't know that there was a version on the NES. I knew about the Super Nintendo version, but I didn't actually know about the NES version. But it's pretty good. It's not as good, obviously, as the Super Nintendo version, but it's certainly a good one. More in the Double Dragon mold. So now we have to do some good timing of our wall jumps here to progress forward, and then we have to deal with these enemies as well. So sometimes you might want to go back to a previous platform and then use your dirks, which can go through walls. And that'll allow you to progress without taking as much damage. Now this guy I could actually probably hit with my spear gun too, but I just decided to use my dirk. And this guy, we want to use the dirk as well, because I think he would have been just too low for the batarang. Alright, So we're gonna drop down, accidentally take some damage there from the gears, and then I'm just gonna shoot this guy with my spear gun before continuing forward. We don't want to do a heavy jump here, as we would hit the gears on the ceiling. Now you can take out this drop claw here, because you're gonna have to deal with it later when you get to the bottom, but it'll actually just respawn. So even though I destroyed it, it's gonna come back once we drop down to that level, which is right here. Because we went off the screen, it is now back. So you have to do a heavy jump to get over this gear, but the drop claw likes to drop stuff down and hit you. And then again, you can do a little wall jump here to get over that one and finish off the stage. And there's the exit, tantalizingly so close yet so far away. We're gonna punch these machines to get through them, not get hit by the electricity. Again, where this is coming from in the movie, I don't know. We have another drop claw here. That one takes a ton of hits to get through if you want to try to kill it. We're not going to deal with it. And then the fire down there does a lot of damage to you as well. So we're just going to progress past it and continue to take out enemies as we go. Now this has one of the worst enemy placements in the game coming up, and that is a little platform here with a little homing mine. And so all you need to do is use your batarangs or use some dirks or the spear gun. If you try to jump over there, it's going to knock you off and you're going to have to redo it. Now this is another terrible segment with these little moving platforms. Basically, you have to deal with them. We're going to kill the enemies so that we can drop down, jump across, and then do a wall jump to get up to the next level. And you do want to take out the enemies because, again, the platform is just so thin, it's very difficult to get to it and actually get through the enemy without taking damage. You can do a wall jump here to get to the top, or you can go around and actually take out this enemy. We'll take out the enemy, see if we can get some sort of a spawn, like maybe an ammo spawn. Sweet. And now as we progress up these stairs, we're going to have more mobile tanks that we're going to have to deal with. So we'll use our batarang here, and then once that is killed, we'll try to time these fireballs to not get hit. And then if you duck, you can actually get under the tank's fireballs. And then just throw your batarangs, and you should be able to hit it and take it out. Again, you might notice that my controller was freaking out a little bit when I was trying to duck. And essentially it was trying to move me forward even though I was just pushing down. So I guess maybe my D-pad's going out. It is an old controller. Like I said, it's an original dog bone controller from the second NES. So I've had it for quite a while. This is another annoying stairway with 4 consecutive enemies, including a very small platform with these little mobile mines. So we're going to take that out first, and then we'll deal with the heat waves. You could just, ow, throw a dirk. But again, I was trying to be efficient and use my batarang. No mobile tank here. But this last segment before the boss does have some robot enemies as well as some drop claws. So again, you can restock here if you want using the drop claws, but you are going to have to eventually deal with that robot enemy too. But you'll notice its pattern is not very close to you. So I find jumping over them tends to be the best strategy, because now we're stuck between 2 of them. Now they're pretty easy to beat if you just punch them out. But again, their pattern takes them very close to the drop claw, and you'll notice they take a lot of hits to kill. So we're just going to charge, jump over the claw, and head to the boss. So this boss is called the Dual Container Alarm, and it's a pretty easy boss to kill. Just stay at the top here and punch, and then drop down to avoid the shot from the second container, and rinse and repeat until one of them is destroyed. If you drop down quick enough, you won't even have to deal with the shot from the second one. Now once you destroy one of them, then things change up a little bit. So then you're going to have to drop all the way down to the bottom. I went a little too slow there. Because your strategy isn't going to work anymore. So let it start moving around, switch to your spear gun, and then just start blasting it on the bottom here. And you will quickly take it out. We will head to the final level of the game, which again is actually connected to the movie in some ways, and that is the Gotham Cathedral. So we have the cool bat wing there. Unfortunately, we don't actually get to fly it. But we have to climb the cathedral. And of course, this cathedral is a menace to try to climb. So we have all sorts of exposed gears, again, not really from the movie, and lots of really terrible enemy placement, and the worst wall jump segment in the game. Plus, at the top, you're going to have to take on 2 bosses in succession, Firebug and then the Joker himself. Now fortunately, if you're able to beat Firebug and then you die on the Joker, hopefully that won't happen. We'll see how things go. I am down a life because I got killed on Electrocutioner. But if you have to continue and you are able to beat Firebug, then you won't have to refight him. You'll have to redo the stage, but then you'll just have to take on the Joker. Now there's some heat waves up here. Again, you can despawn the heat wave on the left if you backtrack some, but I have a hard time getting it to work. So I just end up typically just progressing forward and just punching it out. I can sometimes time it well enough that I don't take too much damage. But there I was able to get it to despawn. The second one we can just take out with a batarang. Here's a drop claw that again you can restock on if you want to. I don't think it's worth it because the platform is so tiny. This heat wave you can take out with a dirk, because this jump here can be a little tricky. You have to do a pretty low jump, and then here is the worst wall climb segment in the game. So we have some of these harpoon-like enemies. Again, if you remember from earlier in the game, they do 1 arm extension followed by a double arm extension. So if you time it correctly, you can jump up and you can punch them. Here's the worst wall climb segment part. You have to do a little quick jump down there to get across those gears without taking damage. I am never able to time it effectively, so I just end up taking the damage. Here you're supposed to be able to despawn that harpoon, but again, I just don't ever get it to work. So I just tank the hits and progress through. Now this segment I can usually get the wall jump to work without taking damage, but when it's coming from the right side, I just can't get it to work. I think the timing is just such that it just does not work for me. And this is not going well. I'm down to 2 little pips of health to get to the top. And we still have quite a bit to do, including an automatic hit up here, because I'm going to have to go across some more gears right here. So I'll try to do the wall jump, but as you can see, I just can't get it to work. Oh man. And now we got to get up to the top here without taking more damage. There's another heat wave. Punch him. And you don't want to get hit by the gears. This is very stressful, being on only 1 life. There are no checkpoints here until you get to the bosses. And you only get the checkpoint as long as you have lives. Now this is actually the top, so if we can get past this thing and make the jump up, we can actually get to Firebug. I would like that health, please. Of course not. Let's continue to make this stressful for me. We have to do a heavy jump here and not bonk our head. Alright, now we just gotta get past this heat wave and then we'll take on Firebug with 1 health left. Now Firebug does have a pattern that if you're able to get it to work, you can do without taking damage. But we'll see if it works. Usually I need to figure out the timing. So you need to jump and throw some... Yeah, that didn't work. So he's going to charge at you, and you want to throw some batarangs to stop him from punching you. And then he's going to back up, jump over his fireball, throw some batarangs at him when he jumps towards you, jump over his fireball, and then just repeat this pattern over and over again. And you should be able to beat him without taking too much damage. Now I am mistiming his fireballs here, and so I'm taking way too much damage. This means I am not going to probably be able to beat the Joker, because again, the Joker takes at least one attempt usually on my part to get the timing for. But since we beat Firebug, we won't have to fight him again if we have to continue. Bat Brain. Yes, I'm ready to meet our destiny. The Joker himself. Alright, well, that was good. Good start. He'll shoot at you, and as you can see, you take a lot of damage. So we're gonna have to continue, and I will meet you back up here to take on the Joker yet again. Alright, so we're gonna stand on the left, and we're just gonna jump like crazy to try to avoid his gunshots, because they do a lot of damage. And we're gonna do this until he charges us, and then we're gonna throw some batarangs at him. And now you wanna get close to him, continue to edge forward, stay at the end of his gun, and you will actually avoid his gunshots and also stay out of his lightning range, and just keep chucking your batarangs and you will take out the Joker. And down he goes. And then of course the ending we all remember from the movie. Batman gets his revenge by, of course, just throwing the Joker over the edge and murdering him in cold blood. Little artistic liberty here. Now, when I was a kid, I think I mentioned in the last episode, I beat this game once, and the one time I beat it, I had been playing it for weeks and weeks on end. I got to the last level here. I finally beat the Joker, and on the last hit, when I finally defeated him, the CRT TV that I was playing decided to crap out and go to static. So I could still hear the audio, but I actually couldn't see what was going on after that point, and I actually could not see the ending. And so weeks of my life was thrown out the window as I was unable to watch the ending to this game. But now we get the credits, and that is the end of Batman the video game. A very, very solid platformer and one of my favorites on the original Nintendo. So hopefully you've enjoyed this look back at one of my favorite games on the original Nintendo and one of my favorite gaming series in general, the Batman series. Maybe someday in the future I'll take on the other two games in this great original NES trilogy. We'll see what the future has to hold, but in the meantime, thank you again for watching. I really do appreciate it. Thank you again for the continued support, and I'll see y'all in my next series. So long. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please press like and leave a comment below. Please also subscribe to my channel and press the notification bell. See you next time.